This tutorial is meant to introduce you to the proper wiring for the thermocouples. The thermocouples, all thermocouples have a polarity that has to be followed. And on this breakout board, all the blocks here are labeled. On the left it's negative, on the right it's positive. So here, if you look at the wire, you have a green, I'm sorry, my eyes are bad. You have a red and a yellow wire. The red wire will always be negative. The yellow wire will always be positive. So at a glance you can check to see that you have the proper polarity across all of the connections. Both the igniter thermocouples and the cook thermocouples should be wired the same way. How do you check to make sure you have a functioning thermocouple? Well, there's two ways to do it. I will show you one way to use a multimeter to check that the thermocouple is working correctly and is reading the proper temperature. First off, we need to identify which TC is 1, 2, 3, and so forth. For the igniter TCs, number 1 will always correspond with the first burner, and they're always wired on a 36-inch or 42-inch 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the cook TC, you have 1, 2, 3. That's the wiring order. On a 30-inch grill, you would simply have igniter 1, 2, and this would always be 4. Same goes with the cook temperatures. It'll be on a 30-inch grill 1, 2. There is no 3.
On.
So how do you use a multimeter to test the proper wiring function of a TC? Well, first you get a handy multimeter, and what you want to do is, with the help of somebody else, you need a source of heat. In this case we have just a little butane torch here, or not a torch, a lighter. And what you want to do is use the probes on a multimeter according to the polarity, and fire up the source of heat and apply the heat to the individual TC to make sure that it's functioning. You will see a climb in temperature if the TC is working properly. So I'll show you how to do this one here. We'll want to turn on your multimeter to read temperature. You can apply the probes. In this case we will try the first TC. We want to show this first cook temperature probe there. That would be number 1 of the 3. You can touch the block negative, positive, and if you notice the multimeter, it will read a temperature. Right now it's a little over 100 degrees because we just tried some heat on that TC. So now we'll see the temperature climb as I apply heat to the TC. You notice the temperature climbs steady. That temperature probe is working properly and is wired correctly.
Go.
In the event that the TCs have been disconnected from their mounting blocks, it'll be hard to determine from this point which TC goes to which connection point. One way to find out is to apply the multimeter approach, connect each one individually, test the TC, and find out which is 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Testing for proper function of TC tutorial. Again, we use a multimeter to determine if the temperature is being read, and it rises steadily when you apply heat to the thermocouple. You turn on your multimeter to read temperature. Read in Fahrenheit. We have our TC. Yellow is always positive. Red is negative. As soon as you make contact, you should at least read a room temperature. In this case, it's room temperature. It's pretty cool. Does it react to heat? You might need some help with this. Again, you can apply heat to the temperature probe. And it steadily climbs.